Hello, friends. This is Arvind Swaminathan, and you're watching Reality Check with Arvind Swaminathan. This time, being the second in the series, we're going to talk about overheads in the fertilizer field. First, why do we use fertilizers? Farmers use it to give them a better crop yield, therefore, a better income. It also produces a good deal more crop, therefore, more is available for sale at a reasonable price, which consumers can afford, hopefully. Farmers must understand that they should and they have to use the right amount of the right type of fertilizer in the right place at the right time. You mix up these things or put the wrong amount in the wrong place, he stands to lose a great deal of money instead of making any. Also, he runs the risk of damaging the crop. They're using the wrong fertilizer can be in different ways, not just the actual application, but also, for instance, there are some pesticides. You cannot use fertilizer or any other chemicals within 10 days before or after usage of those pesticides. If you do, you again stand to damage your standing crop substantially. During my time, I did come across a whole lot of complaints from people, some farmers and some others, that the use of fertilizers used to make the soil hard. Now, I did investigate and I found out why it does happen. So it's not a myth, it is a fact. During those times, they used straight fertilizers, and one of the main culprit was single superphosphate. What it did was it made the soil very hard, but it also had another effect. It brought the pH down to disastrously low levels like 3 or even below. The farmer appeared to be right, and I did investigate this. The reason being, well, first, how is single superphosphate made? You take rock phosphate, spray it with concentrated sulfuric acid, churn it around, cook it for a week, package it, and put it on your fields. Now, the reaction is quite simply this: rock phosphate, sulfuric acid, gives you phosphoric acid and calcium sulfate. Now, the phosphoric acid the crop takes up, which leaves the calcium sulfate. Now, calcium sulfate is known in industry for certain other things, like, for instance, when you crack or have a fracture or you break your arm or leg, they use plaster of Paris, which is basically calcium sulfate. It is also used as snow cement for covering, uh, giving a coating of protection to people's houses and walls. It is also the hardening agent in cement. Now, the other big reason why this calcium sulfate must be removed is it is also known as gypsum. Now, gypsum is used in very high pH soils to bring the pH down to from 8 or above down to about 6. This is necessary for crop growth so that is it cheap to use single superphosphate? I'm afraid I can't agree with that simply because other products which could be coming out of it would cheapen the use of single superphosphate. However, the other biggest problem is because of the bad effect it has on the soil, it brings down the pH and it hardens the soil, means it lowers the yield of many of the crops. So the purpose of using a fertilizer is diminished. As a result, if single superphosphate is still being used, I would not recommend it because not only is it high priced, the amount of phosphoric acid fertilizer you get in it is only 14 to 16%, which is very low. The plant I was associated with produced single superphosphate, had an installed capacity of 60,000 tons. One year, government special request, they produced 80,000 tons and were very happy with it. Until I pointed out that look, you're only working 2 months of the year, in which you produce 75,000 tons. The rest of the year, you only produce 5,000 tons. So your actual capacity is not 60,000 tons, but with two shift system, it was 3.6 lakh tons per annum, or with three shift working, 5.4 lakh tons per annum. With all this calcium sulfate, which you can remove and separate it from the phosphoric acid, just think how much product can be used for industry, like the medical trade, the building trade, the cement industry, and also where you have high pH soil to bring the pH down to make it much more conducive for crop growth. In conclusion, may I suggest we don't use single superphosphate at all. What we should do is take the phosphoric acid out and convert it and use it with other nutrients and make complex or compound fertilizers like nitrophosphate and things like this 2020 or 2828, this sort of thing. The remaining stuff, remove the calcium sulfate and use it in the medical trade, use it for building construction, building protection of walls and so on, use it in the cement industry, and also use it for agriculture to bring down pH in alkaline soils. This way, by producing more products and by utilizing the plant 12 months of the year instead of just two, capacity utilization goes up substantially, bringing down your overhead cost per unit. Added to that, you have more products over which your pricing and your profits are centered instead of just one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please press the bell icon and subscribe to my channel, Reality Check with Arvind Swaminathan. And please share this with your family, friends, and your groups. And also let us have all your comments. Bye. See you soon.